who just abandons a boat? That thing was not cheap when it was new. This clip is brought to you by PartsView.com. Check them out using the link and discount codes in the description below to save money on your boat and engine parts. And yes, so the Boston Whaler that we were doing, that boat, I mean, it was abandoned because it just sat there. So for like the past 12 years, I saw that boat just sit on the rack, and basically it got pulled down and messed with once or twice in that 12 years, but it basically just sat there. There's 104 hours on the boat. It's 20 years old. It just sat there getting baked in the sun, and the person just stopped paying their bill. So it was basically a repossession. The boat got taken and possessed. You know, it was taken. The boat was taken for payment for the bill that wasn't paid. That was like 11. I don't know how much the bill was, but it was quite a bit. And so there's different reasons why people will abandon a boat. Sometimes people will have a boat, and you know, a lot of times, especially down in the Keys or in Florida, because you have so many snowbirds that come down here, where they'll have a boat, they'll put it in storage, and they'll use it when they come down here during the winter. But then as people get older, someone can get sick, someone will die, someone will have other financial issues where they can't take the boat. And unfortunately, I don't know why someone wouldn't just try and sell the boat. You know, I think people get attached to items, so they won't let go of it, even though it's like this thing sitting here costing you money, and opposed to just giving it up. Why wouldn't you just sell it? But I think people get attached to items, and to the point where they can't come to the point of selling it, and they just kick that bucket down the road to the point where now the boat's not worth anything, or you owe more than what the boat is worth, and it's going to require hundreds of hours of labor plus thousands of dollars in product in order to get the boat to be usable again. And so they just walk away from the boat, and they just leave it as is. So death in the family, or the owner dies, or someone gets sick, or they get injured to where they can't even use the boat anymore, but they're still mentally attached to the boat to where they just leave it. Those are probably the biggest reasons why people will do that. And we have gotten quite a few boats in this same situation where something will happen like that, and then the family of the boat, like the family then has the boat, and they don't want anything to do with it. So then the boat just kind of sits there in this situation where it's just rotting away. It's getting rusty. It's oxidizing, and it's just sitting there rotting away. It's losing value by the day because it's getting worse and worse and worse. So by the time it comes to where it's like, hey, you got to do something with this boat, the boat's not worth anything. So they'll let the boat go for, $1,000 or whatever, because to the normal person, you're not going to sit there and put 200 hours of labor into a boat and put 10 grand into a boat to bring it back to a usable, valuable state. So it's kind of a win-win depending, but that's why people abandon boats, is they just can't use them. Florida Native says, for abandoned boats in Florida, how are you able to obtain the title to take possession? Does the marina claim the boat as abandoned, which then allows you to get a title through the DMV? Yeah, that's basically it. It's pretty much that. And this goes for anything. I mean, this goes for your house, or for your car, or for anything. I forget exactly what the term is, where like if you have someone come and work on your stuff and you don't pay them, they can put a lien on your house, they can put a lien on your car, they can put a lien on your boat, they can put I forget what the term is. It's like a service lien or a contractor's lien or something like that, where they basically put a lien on your thing. And everything's different for a boat. Like at this situation, after so many days, yes, you can file to take possession of the boat, which is what happened here, where person doesn't pay their bill. So say you don't pay your bill for 2 years and you owe whatever, $10,000 on this bill. Maybe the boat's worth $5,000 or something like that. They can then, there's a whole process where you have to contact the owner and say, hey, you need to pay this. If not, we're going to take possession of it. And basically that's like most contracts, most service contracts that you do. If you have a contractor come and fix something on your house, you take your boat to a shop, you take your car to a shop. Whenever you sign that contract to get your work done, that's kind of part of the fine print in most of those contracts, where if you don't pay your bill, or you leave the boat, or you leave your car or something like that, after a certain period of time, then that contractor, that shop, that whoever can take possession of the vehicle in lieu of payment that you didn't pay, or it's just sitting there on their property. It's like, hey, you have your item here. I'm not a storage facility. You have your boat just sitting here in the yard taking up space that we rent out. So, it's kind of part of that contract that you sign. But then once that happens, like they contract the owner, then I think you got to put something in the newspaper for 4 weeks or something like that. And then you have to do a couple of other things through the police department and all that. And yeah, then you get title through the DMV and you take possession of whatever, whether it be a car, a truck, a boat, an RV, whatever the item is. That's basically how you title them, is that mainly also your contract. If you're doing service work or you're a storage facility or anything like that, like you need to have that kind of thing in your contract for one of those situations where someone gets sick, someone abandons the boat, it just sits there. There's nothing you could really do. So you need to be able to have something where you can take legal action and take possession of whatever it is. If you're a plumber and you go do a bunch of work on someone's house, they owe you 10 grand for a plumbing job, and then they don't pay you, then you have to put that contractor's lien on their house. So, which is a little bit different. I want to say that on that situation, like until the home gets sold, you don't get paid, but I really don't know all the legal ins and outs of all that. Now, if you like this video, you can watch the full episode over here, or you can watch another clip over here.